just wanted to be another voice in favor of single payer. And I appreciate what you're saying about stepping stone to that point. But before Obamacare, I don't think we would have even imagined that single payer, Medicare for all, would be part of a conversation that we're having this year. But when I'm watching TV, town hall meetings all over the country, I hear people saying the same thing, single payer, Medicare for all. It's like a miracle to hear how many people are talking about that. So wherever we can move towards that, I think it's important, and I'd like to hear you put those words into the conversation as much as possible, but that's a statement. My question is this.
And I agree.
Everybody that I talk to keeps saying, what's taking so long? How can Trump be profiting on the business end in the White House? How can he have his family members working in the White House when that's supposedly against the law? And what is the response to those things that are violations of the law? Where do you go with that?
Well, what we really need in order to make that work, bear in mind that the way you do that is by either having private people bring lawsuits or having the FBI or other agencies prosecute, or by having Congress do investigations and do oversight. I can't do the outside lawsuits part, and I can't control what the FBI does. In terms of the Congress oversight, we are working very hard to try to get Republicans to be willing to ask hard questions. We began with the Republicans forcing through Betsy DeVos at education, and this guy Pruitt at the Environmental Protection Agency. And as terrible as they were, they also had run dark money operations. And as part of their disclosure to get their job, they didn't have to disclose who had given money through their dark money operations. And we pushed and we pushed and we pushed, but they had the majorities and they had the vote, and they wouldn't ask the question. They wouldn't let us ask the question. They wouldn't let us force an answer, let's put it that way. We asked the question and we got mumble jump answers, and they wouldn't say we're stopping him until he gives a legit answer to this question. So that's what we have been up against. As Trump makes himself more alarming and unsettling to people, they feel more anxious too. And that's why Lindsey Graham and Richard Burr on my side and the House Republicans in the investigation are tentatively letting us move forward. But still, the leadership message from both Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan is, this is our guy. You do not investigate your own guy. We are going to have his back, and that's what we have to live with. Now, what happens is that starts to move, and then the switch flips. And the switch flips when members of the House of Representatives think they're going to lose their seats in 2018 because of this guy, Republicans. And Speaker Ryan thinks he's going to lose his speakership because of this guy in 2018, because he'll have lost so many seats that the Democrats will take the House over, which, by the way, we ought to do, and it needs to be a really prime focus. I want David Cicilline and Jim Langevin in the majority in the House driving policy instead of in the minority in the House just objecting. So that's where we are. And as soon as those switches start to flip and we start to, there's not been, well, I don't know if it's been issued yet. There have been virtually no subpoenas yet for documents. You know, you ask a question and then you get 4 different answers from people. Until you get people subpoenaed in to testify with documents, you're not doing a real investigation. And that's been our problem so far. But we're moving in the right direction and it's changing, and then we'll start reeling it in. You gotta get the fish on the line first, then you reel it in.